Okay, this is a vintage 1930s Seth Thomas electric wall clock. Not in the best shape, but certainly not in bad shape. Got a lot of paint loss on it. This is actually really dark green, even though the camera picks it up. It's probably black. It looks like it's pretty well black. See if I shine a light on it, maybe you'll actually be able to see it. The hands are black, though. You can see it's dark green. The hands are black. Made in USA, obviously. I bought this thing. Not in the best shape. Has a very unusual movement in it. It's a spin start movement, but I've never seen one like this before. This was before Seth Thomas was a part of General Time. I don't know who made the movement. I'm assuming it's actually, it says ST on it, so I'm assuming it's actually Seth Thomas. I don't know if this was before they became their movements. A lot of Seth Thomas and West Clock's movements and stuff that I saw, a lot of those were Sangamo or something like that. I think this is before that. It's got a very unusual movement. Now, I'm not going to show the movement in this video because it's propped up and running. And it does stop once in a while, but it does keep accurate time while it's running. Now, the problem with it, I put some oil and some grease on the fiber wheel. And I put some oil on the motor bushings and on the pivot for the fiber wheel. And it seems to run better now. It's a spin start, yeah, a little knob which you actually pull out and then twist and then release it, and it starts the motor, and the motor doesn't like to start. I have pictures from the auction. I put a new cord on, a new old stock cord on it. This is a cord from the 60s, but it's the only thing I had. It has a very, I'll make another video of this. Maybe tomorrow or something. This is just part one of the video. Because I don't want to disturb it too much because it's running well. But this is pretty well, you know what, I'm just going to move this because my name is on my, there we go, because I had the email. Here's the clock. I'm trying to find the movement. Here's the sticker. There's the movement. Now, you can see this is an interesting design movement. It says ST right there. That's the set knob. That's the starter knob. You can see this thing right here is the rotor. These are the two coils. I can't remember. I can never remember which is which. Parallel or series. I think it's series that I'm thinking of. But basically, the current goes in here, goes to this winding, crosses over, goes to this winding, and back out. Now, I thought this wiring was going to be dodgy. I thought this was one big coil. Well, it's two coils, and the good part about that is these holes that these wires go in are actually not the wires are from the motor coils are soldered on, but there's a little screw you take out, and then you can just pull the wire out. So I rewired it up to the motor windings, which is great because now it's got a new cord coming right out of the movement. Put a strain, I tied a knot on the bottom, put a strain relief in, and then I zip tied the wire right to this post here just so it couldn't move around when I set the knob. Use a set knob to set the timer or anything. It's not in bad shape at all. Here's the motor. It's got a very interesting design. It does look like somebody was in there at one point. But I replaced the wiring. I tested it. It started right up the first time when I first plugged it in. Then I replaced the wiring and then it wouldn't start. It still doesn't like to start, but I did put some oil right up here in this bushing, back here, and then there's a large fiber wheel. What it is linen, what is it? Linen impregnated, or no, phenolic, something impregnated linen or something like that. And basically, the way the linen, I can actually show this in a second, but the way the linen fibers are is, I'll draw it out, it's probably easier, or I'll just explain it, because I can't draw to save my life. But you can see, here's the two coils, there's the rotor. It runs well once it's running. It keeps accurate time. It will not lose or gain any time at all But the problem is, you gotta keep it running. You can see it's running. It's probably, I hear a little noise. You know, I'll show the movement right now. Why not? I'm gonna just let's have it balance there. Sticker's upside down. I swapped this hook. This hook was up here and this one was down there and it was backwards. Open it. This is certainly not in the best shape. Here we go, there's the movement. All the screws really have to be tightened up. But basically this is a very uncommon movement. I've never seen another one like this. It says made in USA, ST number or NO.131. Let's see if I can actually get the camera to focus in on that right there. Oh, kinda. Yeah. Interesting, it's upside down. That's okay, you can see there's the rotor spinning around. Not very fast, obviously. A few hundred RPM. And then if I go over here, you can see that large, dark, purplish, blackish wheel right there. That's the fiber wheel. They use that because it keeps the movement quiet, and it is strong this way. Like the teeth will not, it takes a lot to shear the teeth off when it's going this way. The rotary motion, it will take a lot, quite a bit of force, more than the movement can possibly generate to strip the teeth off. However, if you hit it this way, on the edge, it can crack very easily, because that's the way the fibers are. There's a start knob. I'm not going to stop it right now because it's a nightmare to start. It's pretty greasy and old and dirty, but I can definitely clean this up. If it doesn't work in, I'm going to have to take the movement apart. You can see right there, there's a screw terminal for the wiring. Right there. Basically, there's one on this side, one on that side. You loosen the screw. I pulled the old wires out, put the new wires in. Tighten the screws just so they're snug. Not very tight, but just so they're snug. And put it back together. And then I plugged it in. Kind of dangerous. You can touch the wire, both sides of the electrical connections at the same time. Put a little bit of grease on the fiber wheel. Oiled the motor bushings. It seems to be running okay. It ran okay when I first got it. It was just, it would stop running randomly. And there's the zip tie I put on just to keep the wire, and then I put a knot there, which it had a knot in it already, but this is a new wire. And that gives it some slack, and that keeps it from moving up here. That way, if I set the timer, if I have to start it, I can't. It's less likely that I'm going to rip the wire out. There's the sticker. Certainly not in bad shape, I gotta admit. It could be a lot worse than it is. It could be in better shape too, obviously, but it's certainly not bad at all. See if I can get a sound of this thing running. Yeah. Not in the best shape, but it could certainly be in worse shape. Yeah, there's some stuff on the inside of the glass. I might take it apart later and clean it. Oh, this is gonna fall now. It was fine. I don't know what happened. I touched it. That's what happened. Okay. Well, it's gonna sit at a slight angle. Very slight. That shouldn't affect it too much. Yeah. So anyway, this is a pretty uncommon clock. Never seen another one like it. I cannot find anything about this movement. I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna just type in the numbers on it and see what I get. I assume, since I believe it's running in series, the two coils, each coil is running at 60 volts. The coils don't get very warm. They get warm, but they don't get nearly as hot as most other clock motors. All in all, not bad at all. I like the design of it. And if it keeps stopping and doesn't work, and I'm probably going to eventually take it apart to clean the movement anyway, because it's pretty oily and greasy. So, But for now, if I can get it to run normally, it spins very freely. If I unplug it, the motor will coast for a few seconds before it stops. And it's only spinning a few hundred RPM, so it's not going to have much inertia. The gears are all in good shape. It's certainly not as bad as you'd think for a clock that's probably 80 plus years old. Thanks for watching.